If you grew up in Canada before the year 2000, you did things as a kid that would absolutely horrify parents today. You drank from garden hoses. You rode in the back of pickup trucks. You walked to school alone at age 6. You played on metal playground equipment that could literally cook you in the summer sun. And somehow, you survived. Today, we're counting down 20 things Canadian kids did that would never, ever fly today. From dangerous playgrounds to zero supervision to safety rules that simply didn't exist. If you did even half of these, congratulations, you're a survivor. Let's go. Thirsty? Go drink from the hose, not a water bottle, not filtered water from the fridge. The garden hose that's been sitting in the sun all day, tasting like rubber and probably growing bacteria. We'd turn it on, let it run for half a second, and drink straight from it. Hot, plasticky water that tasted vaguely like chemicals. And we thought nothing of it. Today, parents would have a meltdown. Back then, it was just how you stayed hydrated outside. Playgrounds in the 70s, 80s, and 90s were death traps. Metal slides that burned your legs in summer, metal monkey bars over concrete or gravel, merry-go-rounds you could spin fast enough to launch kids into orbit, teeter-totters that could crack your tailbone, no rubber mats, no safety rails, just metal, concrete, and pain. And we loved it. We'd slide down those scorching slides anyway, burns and all. We'd fall off the monkey bars and get back up. That's just how playgrounds worked. Today's playgrounds are padded, plastic, and safe, and honestly, a little boring. 6 years old, first grade, walking to school alone or with other 6-year-olds. No parents, no supervision, just a group of kids crossing streets, cutting through parks, completely unsupervised. Parents today would be arrested for this. Back then, it was completely normal. Be careful crossing the street. See you after school. That was it. That was the safety briefing. And we made it. Most of the time. Seatbelts in the back seat? Why? Kids would pile into the back of the car, sometimes 5 or 6 deep, with 0 seatbelts. Or the car would have seatbelts, but nobody used them. Parents didn't enforce it. Kids didn't care. Long road trips meant kids rolling around the back seat like loose cargo, standing up, lying down, climbing over seats. The front seat had seatbelts because that was the law. The back seat, free for all. Today, not buckling your kid in is a criminal offense. Back then, it was Tuesday. Pickup trucks weren't just for cargo. They were for kids. Summer road trips, trips to the cottage, drives through town. Kids would hop in the truck bed and ride in the open air at highway speeds. No seatbelts, no seats. Just metal and wind, and the very real possibility of flying out on a sharp turn. It was thrilling. It was dangerous. It was completely legal. Today, illegal in most provinces. Back then, best seat in the house. Be home when the streetlights come on. That was the rule. No cell phones, no way to contact you. You just disappeared into the neighborhood for hours, and your parents trusted you'd come back when it got dark. You'd roam the streets, play in parks, explore construction sites, whatever. As long as you were home by dark, you were fine. Today, parents track their kids with GPS. Back then, kids were just out there, somewhere, and parents were okay with that. Bikes, skateboards, rollerblades, sledding, no helmets, ever. Helmets were for professional athletes, not kids riding their bikes to the corner store. You'd ride down massive hills, do jumps, crash spectacularly, and get back up without head protection. Same with tobogganing. You'd fly down icy hills head first on a plastic sled with 0 protection. Crash into trees? That's just part of the fun. Today, kids wear helmets for everything. Back then, we just accepted that head injuries were a possibility and moved on. Dodgeball today uses soft foam balls. Dodgeball in the 80s and 90s used hard rubber balls thrown with maximum velocity directly at your face. Teachers would unleash chaos in the gym. Kids would peg each other as hard as possible. Getting hit hurt. Getting hit in the face really hurt. And that was the game. Pain was the point. Some schools have banned dodgeball entirely now, calling it legalized bullying. Back then, it was just gym class. Red Rover, send Jack right over. A game where kids would form human chains and another kid would sprint at full speed trying to break through. Arms linked, bracing for impact. The goal was literally to clothesline a running child or break through a human wall using force. Broken arms, dislocated shoulders, concussions, all part of the game. Most schools banned Red Rover years ago, but if you played it, you remember the violence, and you probably have a scar. We bought candy cigarettes, shaped like cigarettes marketed to children. They came in packs that looked like real cigarette packs. Some even had powdered sugar so you could puff fake smoke. Kids would pretend to smoke, stand around like little adults, fake cigarettes in hand. Today, this would cause national outrage. Back then, corner stores sold them right next to the gum. Wild. Thirsty. Eat snow. Not clean snow from your backyard. Snow from the side of the road. Snow that had been plowed, salted, and probably peed on by dogs. Yellow snow? Avoid that. Everything else? Fair game. We'd make snowballs and eat them. Catch snowflakes on our tongues. Scoop handfuls of questionable snow into our mouths. Today, parents would explain pollution, bacteria, road salt contamination. Back then, snow was free hydration. Summer cottage trips meant swimming in lakes with 0 lifeguards, 0 supervision, and 0 safety equipment. Kids would jump off docks into murky water, swim way too far from shore, dive into areas they definitely shouldn't dive into. Parents would be back at the cottage. Kids would be in the water, potentially drowning, and everyone was fine with it. No life jackets unless you were on a boat. And even then, maybe not. Drowning was just a risk we accepted. 6, 7, 8 years old, walk into the corner store with a couple of coins. Alone. No parents, no supervision. Just a kid, some change, and a mission to buy candy. Store owners didn't question it. Parents didn't worry. Kids would walk down busy streets, cross intersections, buy their stuff, and walk home. Today, this would warrant a call to child services. Back then, it was a rite of passage. Construction sites were the ultimate playground. Piles of dirt to climb, heavy machinery to explore, nails and sharp objects everywhere, deep holes to fall into, and kids would just play there. After hours, on weekends, whenever. No fences, no security, no supervision. We'd build forts out of lumber scraps, climb half-finished structures, and generally risk tetanus and death. Today, construction sites are locked down. Back then, they were free entertainment. Canada Day and Victoria Day meant fireworks, and not the safe kind. Kids would get their hands on firecrackers, bottle rockets, Roman candles, and set them off with 0 adult supervision. Pointing bottle rockets at each other, holding firecrackers too long, launching fireworks from your hands. Burns, common, injuries, expected, fires, occasional. Today, fireworks are heavily regulated and require adult supervision. Back then, kids were basically playing with explosives and nobody cared. Parents would leave kids in the car while they ran into the store, not for 5 minutes, sometimes for 30, 40 minutes. Hot summer days, windows cracked, cold winter days, car running, heater on, kids unsupervised. Nobody called the cops. Nobody freaked out. Kids just waited in the car, messing around until the parents came back. Today, this is a criminal offense that gets you arrested. Back then, it was just efficient parenting. Riding your bike with no hands wasn't just showing off. It was normal. You'd ride through busy intersections, down hills, across main roads, hands in the air, completely relying on balance and luck. No helmet, no hands, full speed, and we thought we were invincible. Today's kids are taught defensive cycling and road safety. We were taught nothing and survived through sheer chance. British Bulldog was Red Rover's angrier cousin. One kid stands in the middle. Everyone else tries to run past without getting tackled. If you get tackled, you become a tackler. Full contact, no rules, maximum violence. Kids would get absolutely destroyed, grass-stained, bruised, sometimes bleeding, and we'd keep playing. Most schools banned this decades ago. But if you played British Bulldog, you survived a legitimate combat sport disguised as recess. Latchkey kids, kids who came home to an empty house after school because both parents worked. 7, 8, 9 years old. Walking home from school, letting yourself in with a key, being alone for hours until a parent got home, making your own snacks, doing homework unsupervised, watching TV, just being alone as a young kid. Today, this would be considered neglect in many places. Back then, it was just how working families functioned, and most of us turned out fine. Probably. But honestly, the number one thing Canadian kids did that would never fly today, existing with zero supervision for hours, days, entire summers. You'd wake up, eat breakfast, leave the house, and your parents wouldn't see you until dinner. No check-ins, no calls, no tracking. You'd roam the neighborhood, play in the woods, go to friends' houses, explore, adventure, completely unsupervised. Parents had no idea where you were, and they were fine with that. Be home for dinner. That was it. That was the only rule. Today, this level of freedom is unthinkable. Parents track their kids' every move, scheduled play dates, constant supervision. Back then, kids raised themselves, and somehow, most of us survived. That was peak childhood freedom, and we'll never see it again.